My beloved child, be silent for a moment, and let your soul stand still before me. Let the world fall from your shoulders like dust shaken loose when new light pours through an opened window. Let your breath slow and know that I am here, not far, not late, not lost from your steps. I have always been with you, but I have not always walked in your place. I have always loved you, but I have not always smoothed every road beneath your feet. I have always watched over you, yet I have not always lifted you the moment you stumbled, because, my child, I did not create you to be fragile before every passing wind. I created you to stand, to choose to grow into the shape heaven wrote for you before dawn ever learned its name. The strength I placed in you was never meant to lie dormant. It was meant to awaken in the day of refining. Wings do not learn flight within the comfort of the nest. They are proven in open air when wind pushes back and the ground lies far below. Hear this with your heart, not your mind. There are moments when I am silent, not because I am absent, but because I am sanctifying maturity within you. There are days when I do not point the way immediately because you must learn to discern by the light I already placed inside you. There are seasons when you ask me to rescue you, and instead of removing the weight, I strengthen your shoulders, for true victory is not that you never face battle, but that you do not surrender within it. You once asked me, Father, why do you not open the path at once? Why do you let me wait? Why do I walk through shadows, finding each step slowly in the chill of doubt? And I answered you, because great light is not handed to you. It is formed. Fire does not become gold without the furnace. A seed does not become a tree unless it lies beneath dark soil. The sea does not turn to rain unless it faces the heat of the Sunday. I let you enter silence not because I forget you, but because I want my voice to be unmistakable among 10,000 others. When the world's noise falls from your mind, when the expectations of others slide from your shoulders, when the pleadings of a weary heart become clean and honest, that is when you discover that true direction comes not only through my point odeswobe, spoken command, but through your awareness of me in the very breath you take. My beloved, there was a season when you believed you had been left behind, but in truth you were placed in the hidden chamber of holy training. I stood at the doorway watching you lift each brick of faith, and I let you set them one by one, not because I lacked strength, but because I desired yours to rise. Not because I failed to hear, but because you needed to learn to recognize my voice inside your own heartbeat. When you called and I did not answer immediately, do not think I was far. Like a father, standing behind a child learning to walk, my hand was always near, but not touching too soon, for if I carried you before your legs grew steady, you would never know the strength I placed in them. Remember the nights you believed you had collapsed, yet still you rose in the morning. That was my breath within you. Remember the moments no one understood you, yet somewhere deep inside you still knew you were not alone. That was my heart within yours. Remember the times you were lost, and suddenly a small light appeared, a thought, a stirring, a whisper, like wind, gently opening a path. That was my mind moving within your spirit. I have never left you for a single breath, but I love you enough not to hurry. My love is not weak, not anxious, not chasing you in fear of losing you. I am the Father of light, and I lead you not by chains, but by a seed of life planted deep in your chest. Some believe love is doing everything for you, rescuing instantly, fixing every moment. But I love you differently. I make you into one who can stand in the storm without trembling, because you know I am there even when your eyes see nothing. I wish you to learn that. My presence is not only in thunder and miracle, but also in the endurance of silence. I am not only the roar, I am the thin breath that brushes the chamber of your heart. Lift your eyes. I did not set you at the foot of the mountain so you could build a tent there. I placed you at the foot to teach you to climb, not because I need you high, but because in each step, each breath, each scratch, each moment you feel lost, you encounter me. In the journey, not only the summit. In the waiting, not only the answer. Do not fear silence. Silence is not emptiness. It is the womb of revelation. Every child is formed in silence. Every seed breaks open beneath quiet. Every promise takes shape in seasons unseen. I am not far. I am shaping you for the day you will stand strong, not because I carry you, but because I live within you. And on that day darkness will tremble when it sees a light that cannot be extinguished in you. Stand firm. I am here. I am not hurried. I do not depart, and you are not as weak as you think. Be still and remain in this current, for I have not finished speaking and your heart has not finished hearing. Let the deepest light move through your chest like water from the rock in the desert, like heaven's breath, moving through dry bones in the valley, calling every cell awake, raising marrow to stand straight in unseen winds. You thought you already understood how near I am, but there are moments when I come, not like rain loud enough to notice, but like dew resting on leaves, quiet, delicate, unannounced, yet once the sun touches it, the whole garden shimmers. Awake! This is how I touch you now, not with thunder or lightning, but like sacred oil poured on Aaron's head, slipping through each strand, soaking down to the edge of his garment, consecrating every part he did not yet recognize. I let you walk alone, but only the way a shepherd lets the sheep walk into the field, not to send it into the jaws of wolves, but so its feet will remember the earth, so the scent of the wind will teach it direction, so the voice of the friction shepherd becomes the sound it can recognize among 1,000 noises in the wilderness. You thought loneliness was a sign I abandoned you, but loneliness is the desert where I lead you so. My voice will no longer be drowned by the voices of men. Manna did not fall on soft meadows. Manna fell in barren wilderness, where you must look up and know that this bread did not come from human hands but from the hand of the Father. Water did not burst from a man-made well. It sprang from a rock no one believed could give water, so you would know that I can bring life out of what seems dead, and so you would know the same is true for you. Do you remember the vine? I do not prune dead branches. I prune the branches that bear fruit so they will bear even more. So when you see me remove something you thought you needed, do not cry that I punish you. I am preparing you for a season of abundance your eyes have not seen. In my vineyard, the branches I love most are the ones the sharp blade touches most often. And there are days you weep because it feels like reduction, but truly I am stripping away the shade that blocks light from the fruit growing within you. The pain of pruning is not punishment. It is proof you are chosen for the season ahead. You are clay in the hands of the potter. I spin you on, my wheel, sometimes so fast you feel your balance slip, sometimes so slowly you think time has stopped, sometimes. My water softens you until you fear you will fall apart, sometimes. My hand presses hard enough that you want to cry out, but my hands are never harsh. Every pressure forms shape, every rotation brings balance, every drop of water keeps you from cracking under motion. I do not look at you as a craftsman looks at material. I look at you as a father looks at a child being born again into a more glorious form. There are paths where I let you walk without bright lamps, giving you only a pulse of light inside your chest to guide you. I do not want you to live by signs, for those who live only by signs tremble when signs go silent. I want you to live by knowledge, born from presence, like Abraham stepping into a land with no map, yet trusting the one who called him, like David standing before Goliath without armor but with fire in his faith, like Esther stepping into the palace with no assurances except the invisible anointing resting on her shoulders. You are called to walk like them, not because I enjoy testing you, but because you carry the lineage of those who do not shake when heaven grows quiet. You may not realize it, but I have already led you through your own Red Sea. The waters did not part with thunder. They parted with your first step into the waves. Sometimes the sea only opens when you step not before. If I opened the way first every time, you would learn to follow maps, not my heart. I do not want you to be one who merely knows the path. I want you to know the Father. The path shifts with seasons, but the Father does not change. When you walk without a map, you learn to listen, to sharpen your senses, to face the sunrise for direction each morning and adjust again each dusk. This constant turning toward my light is what makes you mine, not the absence of missteps. There were moments you cried, "Father, why does the storm last so long?" But the storm did not come to drown you. It came to train the oars of your soul. Noah built the ark not under clear skies, but before rain ever touched the earth. That is the mystery of faith, doing what I say before circumstances affirm it. And you are building your ark, one faithful hammer strike at a time. Each swing echoes in the heavens. Each night you choose to stand instead of collapse each morning. You breathe deep and believe again. Each quiet yes is a hammer blow that pushes back darkness and builds a new harbor for your soul. When I am silent, remember Eli and Samuel. My voice did not thunder from burning mountains. It whispered like a call in the night. Samuel had to turn back 3 times before he recognized it was I who spoke. So too with you, you are learning to recognize me in the midnight of your soul, not through fire and quake, but through the gentle pull in your chest that turns you back when everything outside tells you to walk away. You thought I was absent when you were exhausted, yet I was there like the angel who set bread and water by Elijah under the broom tree. It is not always fire on Carmel. Sometimes it is warm bread and cool water for the weary. You cannot fight if you never rest. And when you lay beneath the tree and whispered, "I am done," I placed my hand upon you and said, "You are not finished." This is how I love. I do not let you fall where you collapse, because I see the long road ahead, and I know you will rise like dawn after this night. Do not mistake silence for abandonment. Do not confuse discipline with punishment. Do not imagine waiting is failure. Winter does not kill the seed, it deepens the roots. The blood on the doorposts did not stop the night from passing through. It assured the first light would find my people still standing. And you are still standing, even with trembling hands. I see every tremor as a silent offering of praise. I have never been far. I am sowing my strength deep into your sinews, so that when you rise, all of hell will know you do not stand by your own power, but by mine fused into your bones like marrow. Keep breathing, and you will find me in that very breath. You are in the middle of a hidden process that heaven watches in reverent silence, like when the Ark of the Covenant was carried across the Jordan, and the waters did not part until the priest's feet touched the riverbed. I do not rush to move according to the clock of the flesh, because I am crafting moments according to the calendar of heaven. There are doors that are not opened by hurried prayers, but by patience stored in the heart like oil in the widow's jar, filling quietly until it overflows into a miracle. Know this: faith is not only the cry. Faith is the ability to stand still when heaven has not yet answered, trusting that silence carries a message and that a slow flame is still true fire. I once covered my people with a cloud by day and fire by night, yet there were mornings when they woke and saw no sign in the sky, so they would know it was not the signs that led them but me. I am doing the same with you. When you cannot see the flame, know it has not gone out. It has drawn inward to soften what is hard in you and strengthen what is too soft, so you might become a temple and not a tent. A tent is raised and taken down. A temple stands across generations. I am building you to stand. Remember Joseph in the prison. I did not swing the iron door open when he first cried. I did not break the chains the first night he wept in darkness. But in that darkness I rearranged the dream inside him. I matured eyes that once looked to the sky for answers. I trained his ears not to hear men but to hear what is right. Chains could not restrain me, but chains prepared him for the throne not by power, but by knowing he was chosen and knowing he could not build his future by himself. You are walking through such a season. I once shut the door of Noah's Ark when no drop had yet fallen and opened it when the waters receded. No one inside understood the timing, but Noah trusted me enough to know it was not the rain that dictated the hour, but my voice. When you have not heard me say, "Go out, do not break down the wall," when you have not heard me say, "Move, do not leave the boat," every urgency not anointed becomes a storm you invite. But every waiting that shelters itself in me becomes wind that carries you into a new season. Whenever you feel like running, stop and ask, am I running away from silence or running toward the voice? That one question can keep a lifetime from drifting. When David stood before Saul, people saw only a boy with a harp and stones. But I saw a king shaped in the wilderness of years, pursued a warrior who would not tremble under curses, a heart that learned to weep before me in caves before standing before crowds without pride. Anointing makes no mistakes, but it requires seasons to take shape. So it is with you. I am not delaying the promise. I am maturing the one who will carry it. A crown placed too soon crushes a tender head. I will set the crown when your neck is strong enough to bear it, your heart deep enough to stay low, and your eyes open enough to know that all glory flows not from you but from me. You want me to point the way immediately so you will not choose wrong, but if I always did that, you would never learn to hear me when the sea is calm. If I always use strong winds, you would never recognize the whisper. There are lives that only seek me in loud altars, but I am forming in you the ability to find me in the brush of my breath, in your marrow, in questions soft as silk within the soul, in light tiptoeing through the morning doorframe and leaves, touching each other like my fingers, tapping your heart. Do not measure me by noise. I am the one who creates the quiet between two thunderclaps. It is there you are transformed. I make you strong enough not to fall when heaven seems closed, deep enough not to drift when my words seem dim, real enough to live faith not as myth but as breath. There are moments when I allow the soil of your heart to crack because only dry ground thirsts for rain. There are days I let the sky look bronze because only then do you knock without pride. There are nights I let your tears soak the pillow because those tears wash away the blindness of self-reliance. Do not think I find joy in your pain. I ache more deeply. But just as a blacksmith endures the heat before the blade, does I endure the fire with you to forge a sword that will not break. And here is a mystery you do not yet fully grasp when I am silent. Heaven's armies are not. When you wait, heaven is arranging your path. When you grow weary, I am multiplying your strength by a means unseen. The ground does not know the wind is gathering clouds, but rain will fall. You do not see roots growing beneath the grass, but the season will come. You cannot see my hand when all you see is night, but I am drawing dawn closer with the breath of my presence over the story of your life. I have placed in you a lamp like the lamp in the sanctuary. That flame must not be extinguished. It does not blaze wildly every day, but it never dies. Faithfulness in silence is the oil that feeds that flame. The enemy does not fear shouting. It fears a lamp that has not gone out after many cold seasons. It knows an unextinguished lamp means the Holy One is still there. You are becoming a keeper of the lamp, not to display brightness, but to testify that I dwell in the temple of your heart. So when you do not hear me, know this, I have not left. I am drawing you into the holy chamber, where only silence is sacred enough to carry invisible transformation. My silence is not the end of conversation, but the lifting of it into the realm of the soul, where words no longer suffice and presence itself answers. Right now, if your chest slows, if your breath deepens, if your gaze stretches farther, even though nothing has changed outwardly, it is not coincidence. It is the Spirit opening your heart like a scroll so I may write another line no one can erase. You are not waiting in vain. You are ripening in my hands. And when the time comes, you will step, and the earth beneath you will tremble, not from noise, but because mature faith does not create sound, it creates power. Be still, I am shaping you into my shadow, and my shadow does not tremble, so neither will you. Child, you were not placed in this world to drift like a leaf wherever currents choose. You were born with a direction, a tilt of the soul aligned only with heaven, a quiet but immense assignment like a flame that knows it must not die in the night. The more you deny it, the more the fire burns in your bones. The more you pretend to be ordinary, the more your heart beats strangely, pushing you to rise, to walk, to refuse a life lived unaware of being chosen. Feel what I am saying, not with your ears, but with the weight pulling your spirit downward into depth. There is a destiny beating like waves behind your ribs, gentle yet unyielding, soft yet persistent. It calls not with words, but with a pulse deeper than fear, higher than doubt, longer than the world's noise. Destiny does not shout, it waits. It does not argue with chaos. It waits until you are still. And when you become still, it rises like the sun, not asking permission, not apologizing, simply shining because that is its nature. You think this season is confusion, but it is awakening. You think you are lost, but you are being separated from the crowded path. You think you have been left behind, but you are being drawn into a place where only those called from deep can stand. Every empty feeling is space preparing to be filled. Every moment you do not know where to go is the moment before inner direction awakens like a compass magnetized by heaven. I allow you to walk without clear signs because I know your soul is stronger than you think. I let your feet touch ground without clear instruction because deep within you there is a guidance system from heaven you have not needed until now. Now you need it. Now it awakens. There are those who are carried, and there are those who are called to walk. You are the second. I do not love you less. I trust you more. You are not cradled by clouds. You are forged in fire. You are not lulled into promise. You are being trained to enter and claim it with steps that carry weight. Others arrive by wing. You arrive by foot because I am teaching your feet the authority to touch earth with heaven's power. Receive this. You are building something no one can steal, no one can mimic, no one can borrow. Faith built, not handed, is different. It roots deep anchors heavy like the ocean floor stands in storms without looking for shelter. You are becoming such a one. Your life will not drift with winds of opinion, will not fall with seasons of emotion, will not sway with circumstance. You will stand and your shadow will stretch across dark ground, and the light you carry will not burst like fireworks but spread like wildfire across dry fields, not loud yet unstoppable. I did not give you an easy road because you carry a calling that cannot live in ease. Those entrusted with soul weight must learn to walk with a spine that does not bow. Not in pride, but in endurance. Not to be seen, but to be rooted. Not to conquer by striving, but by being. You do not need to prove when your breathing itself is proof. In this moment, something is standing upright in your spirit. The spine of your soul is aligning, not with a crack, but with a knowing that you are not abandoned, a knowing that you are not off course, a knowing that the silent season is not failure, but a sacred cradle for strength. A knowing that you step not because of guarantee, but because you have been chosen. From here, walk as one who needs no permission to exist. You do not ask darkness for approval to shine. Light does not request the night's consent. It appears and the night remembers its place. You were not created to seek acceptance, but to bring a presence that forces darkness to recalibrate. If your heart warms like coals ready for wind, it is not emotion. It is promise in your bones. If your breath deepens, it is not chance. It is the Spirit placing new gravity in your soul. If your eyes look farther as if a hidden path has just revealed itself, it is destiny long compressed beginning to expand. Rise from the place you have sat too long in sighs. Step from the comfort zone like one who remembers they carry invisible wings, not to fly immediately, but to feel their weight upon your shoulders. That weight is honor, and not everyone can bear it. I did not call you to avoid pain. I called you to overcome. I did not promise you would never shed tears. I promised every tear would become oil upon your forehead. I do not remove every trial. I remove fear from within you, so you may face trials with clear eyes. And when you pass through fire without burning, and through waters without drowning, you will understand, I do not protect you by shielding you from flame. I protect you by making you of a substance flame cannot consume. Remember, this silence is not my absence. Silence is the holy chamber where your will meets mine and is forged into one. When you step out of this season, your voice will carry the weight of one who has sat with heaven. Your eyes will deepen like one who has looked into the abyss and chosen light. Your breath will rest like waters that know they come from a well that never runs dry. This is the hour of ripening, the hour of knowing, the hour of standing. And you will stand not because the world holds you up, but because I have set fire upright inside your bones. Dawn belongs to you not because the sky brightens, but because you awakened before the light appeared. Now walk. Without hesitation, without permission, without bowing your soul, I walk with you. I dwell within you. I go before you, behind you, and through you. You are no longer fragile. You carry calling. And that calling begins in this very breath. My beloved child, sit with me, not as one lingering at the threshold searching for a way in, but as one who has stepped deeply into the sanctuary of sacred stillness. Do not search here as one hungry for information. Open your heart like a field waiting for rain, for what I am sowing is not knowledge but remembrance. The awakening of what once lived in your bones before this world laid dust upon your soul. This is not new learning. This is ancient knowing rising. Feel it emerge like a shoot cracking quiet earth open, arising from within a spiritual spine, straightening not through loud resolve but through a gentle certainty that you were never born for a small and nameless life. There is a pulse inside your chest whispering, not urgent, not forceful, but steady like truth itself. Each beat declares you do not belong to shallow ground where souls drift with noise and fear. You belong to depth where silence resonates, and light does not announce itself yet makes darkness retreat simply by being present. You are no longer in the stage of looking upward to plead. You are learning to look inward to recognize, not to see yourself by fleshly measure, but to see the divine essence I breathed into you at the beginning. The strength I placed in you is not outer armor. It is not the shout of a soul desperate to prove. It is the quiet of one upheld by a source deeper than fear, wider than limitation, steadier than trial, brighter than confusion. Release your shoulders, release your brow, release the hurried beat within your chest. Feel the softness settling in your bones, the depth in your breath, the stillness in your thoughts. Not because you are retreating from battle, but because you are entering a form of strength that no longer fights to survive, but merely stands in truth. You are not called to wrestle endlessly within your own mind. You are called to stand in a reality where I am foundation, not opinion, not fleeting emotion. When you feel that strange weight that is light, at the same time that gentle firmness that is me pulling your soul out of old patterns of shrinking. When your breath sinks deeper though nothing outside has changed, that is me loosening invisible cords around your heart cords you did not tie but came to accept as the shape of life. No, you were never born small. You only lived too long inside a narrow room the world called safety. Now you open the door, not to chaos but to holy sky where inner wings remember what they were made for. Here I do not command, I awaken. I do not force you to rise. I remind you that you once knew how to fly in spirit. I do not train your steps. I return you to the knowing that once guided you without maps but by nature and light. And now as you sit still like this, not running from fear, not gasping against panic, you are returning to your truest state, silent, yet full wordless, yet present, unhurried, yet advancing. Let your heart drift away from the old habit of seeking signs outside. Do not wait for the sky to shake. Notice your own chest trembling. Do not look for doors to burst open. Realize the key is turning inside you. Many souls live their whole lives waiting for thunder while missing the whisper of wind. I am teaching you to recognize the wind. I do not need to thunder across the heavens when I am rising in the marrow of your bones. You do not need to prove faith. Your presence in this holy space is proof enough. You do not need to conquer. You only need to stand in yourself. You do not need to shout. You only need to exist rightly. Exist rightly, and darkness will retreat. This is not strength borrowed from emotion. This is power flowing from identity. You do not beg to belong to light. You are light, remembering it was born to shine. Let your breath merge with mine. Do not strive, simply merge. Do not direct, simply allow. Do not seek, simply open. When you open, my flow rushes in like water, finding low ground like light entering where nothing remains closed. You do not need to strain, you only need to be ready. You are being invited to rest in what is already finished, not to strain to prove what has already been declared. If there is a quiet settling over you right now that softens your eyes, that is me. If there is a gentle warmth running along your spine like embers stirred beneath ash, that is me. If something in you lifts its head without being told, it is my reminder that those who carry destiny do not bow to the verdict of fear. And if tears begin to rise without reason, you can name it as your soul hearing the sound of home. Do not analyze it. Do not reason it away. Let it move and let it soften the corners that hardened only because you had to be strong for too long. You are not learning something new. You are remembering something ancient. I am not placing something foreign in you. I am brushing dust off treasure you forgot you held. You do not need to wrestle doubt. Doubt will fall away like old skin when truth in you grows beyond what once confined it. You will not win by straining. You will win by returning to who you truly are. And your true nature does not shake, does not push, does not compete. It simply shines and knows. Here no one is judging you. No one is measuring you. I am not looking to find what is wrong. I am looking to call forth what has already been planted. You do not need to say, I am ready. Just breathe with me. Every breath with me is a step deeper, one layer of hesitation falling away, one thread of worry dissolving. Now rest in me. Do not wait for the next thing. Do not anticipate. Just be. Being is enough for the flame to spread. Being is enough for the atmosphere of your soul to change. Being is enough for you to remember you are not a visitor in the holy but an heir. You are not here as someone knocking. You are here as someone returning home without needing to knock. I have been waiting for you in this very moment. And you have arrived. Not late, not lost. On time aligned with the rhythm of heaven. You draw one more breath and know I have not left, not even for half a beat. Now let your heart open like a long-locked door yielding without a sound. I will take you deeper, and in this flow I will whisper scripture not as a quote but as a key that awakens what has been sleeping inside your spirit. Child, there are times you think spiritual maturity means climbing higher, but in truth it means going deeper. You think it means running fast, but in truth it means stopping where heaven stops. You think it means holding tighter, but in truth it means releasing what did not come from me. There will be days your soul feels like rain-soaked earth, so soft you mistake it for weakness. But only soft ground can receive seed. Hardened ground grows only thorns and dust. Do not fear softness. Your softness is not lack of strength, it is the moisture of life returning. Do not worry when answers do not come quickly. Your silence right now is the cradle of revelation. You are not empty. You are giving me room to fill in my way. There will be moments when it feels like the wind shifts, like the spiritual air around you moves and you cannot name it. That is not a storm coming. That is a spiritual door cracking open. I do not always come with thunder. I often come as a thin gleam in the mind, a drop of light falling into still waters, making a small ripple before you notice the waves. Trust that sense. It is not imagination. It is the Spirit touching you. Do not look for me in the noise of trying to do everything right. I love to meet you in the moment you stop trying and simply breathe. You will see I do not stand outside waiting for you to be worthy. I stand within your life steady as the sun waiting for morning to awaken. It is not that I am slow, it is that your soul is softening, opening, and sturdy enough now to receive what once would have broken you if given too soon. I never arrive late, I arrive by season. Listen closely now, as one who hears their name from beyond time. A mantle is resting upon you, but it is not a burden. It is a garment of glory woven from every quiet day you did not quit. People see the day you rise, but I see every morning you stood when you weren't sure you could. I have seen the days you walked forward though you doubted your strength. I have heard the words you did not speak to keep your heart clean. I have watched tears fall not from weakness, but because you knew you were being shaped to carry strength rightly. I tell you this, the chosen do not receive identity with fireworks. They receive it with a stillness nothing can steal. When outside light fades, there still burns. When crowds choose another path, their feet remain steady. And when the world measures them by a different scale, they are silent, for they do not live to fit the world. They live to align with heaven. Here is a sentence I am placing in your chest, now light and sharp as a sacred blade dividing truth from fear. Be still and know that I am God, not still to escape, still to recognize. Not know in mind, know in bone and breath, in the way you stand without trembling when everything outside shifts tone. You hear that verse and think it is only about me, but it is also about you. For when you are still and know I am God, you also know you are mine, and in that knowing fear loses its voice. You think what I want from you is perfection. No, what I desire from you is truth. Truth so pure you can breathe without shaping yourself to others' expectations. Truth so anchored you can stand alone and not feel alone. Truth so honest that even fear cannot hide beneath reverence. You bring it to me, and it dissolves not because you are strong, but because I am the ground beneath your feet. I do not need you to know everything. I need you to know me. And when you know me, everything else finds its place like a puzzle settling in the hands of the one who sees the whole picture. You will watch this happen. What once terrified you becomes a memory you smile at. What once towered over you turns to ash in the light of knowing. And the calling that once felt far becomes solid as the footsteps of one who knows where they are going. You no longer have to force the door open. The door will open when you arrive. For my power did not design you to beg for a place. I shaped you to walk into the place written for you, before time was given its name. You were not born to compete for space. You were born to enter the space that belongs to you. No one can take it. No one can crowd it. No one can close the door I have chosen to open. And no one can open a door I have not assigned to you, not because you lack, but because you are being protected from paths not in harmony with your soul's frequency. Continue breathing, my child. Do not rush to do anything. Can you feel that strange stillness in your chest right now? That soft certainty, that sense of an inner bow drawn taut, not loaded with anxiety, but with readiness. That is spiritual preparation. Not preparing to strain and fight, but to walk like one who carries heaven on their shoulders, yet steps as lightly as wind moving across a field, knowing they are not holding heaven up, heaven is holding them. Stay in this sacred stillness a little longer. For every moment you do not hurry is a moment I press your roots deeper. Every second without fear is a second darkness retreats. Every breath that matches mine breaks another chain like dust losing its grip. You do not need to shout to be strong. Strength is moving through you in silence, and because of that you cannot be broken. Keep your heart like a lake, untouched by wind, so what I speak enters not through noise but through depth. I will continue now, weaving metaphor like an underground stream merging with the river of your soul. Seamless, hidden, spreading smooth like moonlight slipping between mountain crests to rest on still water, where your spirit recognizes it has crossed into another realm. My child, there are seasons when life outside seems unmoving, yet inside you the ground trembles like a seed buried in dark soil that appears still but breaks and swells every second, preparing to pierce earth and touch the light chosen for it from the beginning. You are the same. You think you are standing still, yet I see your roots sinking deeper, your trunk thickening in silence, invisible leaves unfolding inside your bones, waiting for sunlight. The moment a bud appears is not when life begins, it is when life reveals itself. Life in you began long ago, the moment you chose to remain in me. As you sit here still as earth after rain, do you feel your soul opening like a lotus at dawn, unhurried, unseen, blooming simply because its time has come? That is not imagination. That is my presence saturating every grain of your spirit. Many try to thrust themselves into seasons of brightness, but I am leading you into the soft season, the sprouting season, the season where roots drink deeply from secret waters beneath the stone. People admire flowers, but I am watching roots. And your roots right now are being guided by my spirit into a well that will never run dry. There are moments when your soul feels like a cavern, wide yet dim, echoing yet quiet. Do not fear that space. A cave is not abandonment. It is where true sound is born. Sacred echoes form in stone, not on the surface. You believed silence was emptiness. It is not. Silence is heaven's womb where I place my voice before revealing it to the world. You are the cavern where my resonance is forming. When the time comes, you will speak, and even in softness, the atmosphere will shift like a forest wind, turning direction when the first bird sings the morning. And there are times when you feel like a river frozen still on the surface, while beneath the water flows, feeding roots preparing for thaw and overflow. Do not worry when the lake freezes. Life has not disappeared. It has hidden itself to avoid being wasted by bitter winds. There are seasons when I wrap your soul like this, not to stop your flow, but to protect your season. When the wind changes, the water will sing again. And that song will not be one taught by anyone, but the song learned in stillness and known in your very marrow. I am teaching you to walk as one who lives in two worlds, one foot on earth, one in the unseen, like a tree rooted in soil but sustained by sap, flowing deep inside, invisible yet the entire reason it stands. You do not need to prove it. Simply stand. Everything else will recognize you. True light does not introduce itself. It shines and the world adjusts around it. There are moments when your heart beats slow like a calm sea, then suddenly quick like a wind gust, not from anxiety but because your spirit is receiving signals like a bird on a branch, sensing the trembling of the sky before the human eye. Seize the rain. Do not push that sensation away. Lean into it. In those shifting rhythms, I am sending the frequency of a new season into your veins. This is how I train you, not through commands shouted, but through rhythm. Heaven always arrives as rhythm before it arrives as form. There are days when you feel like a speck of dust suspended in emptiness, weightless, uncertain, fragile. But dust is only light because it forgets it was born from glorious earth. When you remember, dust becomes a star. Your body is earth, but your spirit is light. Earth holds you when I want you to stand. Light pulls you when I want you to rise. My goal is not to make you always fly nor always stand, but to teach you to recognize when the ground calls and when the wind invites. That is the art of walking with heaven. And if there are moments when you feel like unfired clay, soft but easily misshapen, remember, this is the stage where I am kneading. Not because you are wrong, but because the old vessel cannot hold the new oil I am preparing. I am remaking you and nothing is lost. Each kneading makes you stronger, deeper, able to hold more glory. Do not rush into the fire. I shape before I bake. You are in my hands, not abandoned on a spinning wheel. You do not need to fear darkness anymore. Darkness is not the enemy of the seed. It is the womb of new life. You are not trapped. You are germinating. You are not hidden. You are forming. When I open the light, you will not emerge as someone who came out of a classroom, but as someone who rose from the womb of the earth. Strong, quiet, grounded, and beyond human definition because I have shaped you myself. Now breathe. Not with effort. Just breathe and know you are not in a weak stage. You are in a deep one. Depth is holy. Depth is authority. Depth is where the enemy cannot reach. You no longer stand on the surface searching for signs. You are moving by the radar of the soul like fish who know the ocean's direction without a compass, like birds who find their nest without asking the way. I have planted that direction in you. And feel this, you do not walk alone. You move like a river with a source. A river does not prove its direction. It simply flows, and the sea comes to meet it. So it is with your destiny. Do not hunt, just flow. Flow from where I fill you. Flow like oil. Flow like light. Flow like a promise grown mature. I do not listen to lips. I listen to the opening in your bones. I hear the inner door crack open another half-inch. I see your breath settle a shade deeper, like soil receiving a subtle layer of moisture before the great rain falls. And now I will keep pouring, not sudden, not loud, but spreading like warmth through stone, like light spilling beneath a doorway, like holy honey soaking into every cell of your soul. You are entering the place where words cease to be crutches and become breath lifting you. This is not the place to understand. It is the place to become. Like ash returning to ember vapor, returning to rain, a seed remembering it was always a forest. You do not need to strive to become great. You need only not resist the process I am opening inside you. Your strength does not come from forcing. It comes from releasing, just as a lake does not try to become still. It becomes still when the wind stops, and I am the quieting of the wind within you. There are moments you feel like an unfilled vessel and you think you must pour more in, but there are seasons not for filling but for emptying rightly. A cup only receives wine when it releases the old water. Your soul only receives new glory when you let the old sound fall away. This is not loss. This is temple cleansing. Some imagine maturity is about gaining more, but true maturity is often about surrendering urgency, surrendering control, surrendering the longing for applause, even surrendering the hurried pursuit of me through intellect. Alone. When you surrender, you do not fall. You fall into me, and I have no bottom. You cannot lose when you fall into the infinite. Can you feel it? Softness becoming foundation, like soil after rain, turning into ground ready for seed, then in time becoming soil that can support a house, then a foundation that can hold a temple. Rain does not weaken earth, it makes it useful. My water is doing that in you. In the depths you are beginning to understand that silence is not emptiness, but the chamber before the music begins. Your soul's music is tuning, not loud, not rushed, simply precise. When the season comes, you will not need to search for a stage. You will be the space where resonance happens. You will not need to climb a platform. You will become the platform others stand upon to see heaven more clearly. I am not making you someone who impresses. I am making you one whose presence leaves a vibration in the air after you pass, not by posture, by frequency. Those who belong to me create atmosphere without speaking. You will enter a place, and hearts will soften without knowing why. You will speak a single sentence, and souls will open like doors meeting a winter wind. Not because you are skilled, but because you have sat long enough in my breath. Some carry power through noise. You will carry power through stillness. True strength does not roar. It moves like an underground spring, and in due season, entire forests thrive because of it. You will be that spring. No one needs to remember the spring's name. It is enough that trees grow and weary souls rest in its shade. And as you walk this world, do not fear the growing difference within you. You are not a candle in a room. You are ember turning to enduring flame. Candles flare quickly and fade. Embers burn long and do not bow to wind. The light you carry is not the glitter of earthly celebration. It is slow, deep, steady fire rich with oil, the kind of light that makes demons hesitate and heaven smile. There are moments when you feel pulled out of the rhythm of others as if you cannot fit into the frequency they live in. That is not isolation, that is separation. Like a seed placed in its own soil so the wind cannot uproot it. Like gold refined in its own furnace so its purity is not diluted. Do not run out to blend with the noise when I am bringing you into refinement by silence. Your calling is not like theirs. Do not strive to look like them. You were not born to fit a mold. You were born to become the mold of something new. And hear this softly, but truly you are not trying to awaken. You are awake, no longer one who seeks signs. You are becoming the sign. No longer begging for direction. You are becoming direction for those lost. No longer searching for light. You are learning to become a form of light. Imagine your soul now as a sail newly opened on a ship long anchored. It is not strong wind that makes the sail beautiful. It is right tension. I am the wind. You are the sail. You need only open rightly, face rightly, stand rightly. The wind will do the rest. And as the dew does not know when sunlight will touch it, yet it knows the sun will come, so your soul does not need to know the hour, only to know that I come. When my light touches, you become a drop of brightness falling not to disappear but to transform into another current in heaven's cycle. Stay here another moment. Close your eyes if you wish. Not to leave life, but to return to the depth where life begins. Breathing is no longer survival. It is a bridge. You just stepped another rung. No sound, no fireworks, yet heaven records it. You are breathing in depths, and when your heart opens, I do not hear lips. I hear the movement inside your bones like a sacred doorway, opening a little wider like light slipping deeper where darkness no longer has rights. Keep the heart still like water before dawn, and I will carry you deeper in a current unbroken, unhurried, unforced, spreading like warm honey and fruit like light, threading through stone like a whisper touching marrow without needing shape. You are in the place where the inner space is no longer a room, but a sacred forest at night, not a night of fear, but of mystery, where darkness does not swallow you, but wraps you like a cloak, not to hide you, but to protect the holy that rises in the soul's root. There you no longer hear the world's pressure. You hear a steady, quiet pulse, like the earth breathing as roots grow. You think you stand still, but I see your roots deepening, sap rising, form opening like a bud that knows its season without being taught. You are not waiting for the sign. You are the sprout of the sign, becoming visible, not loud, but undeniable. Do not let silence make you think you are empty. This silence is not vacancy, but the soil's belly before the seed breaks through, the hall before music begins, the long inhale of the sea before a great wave rises again. You are not delaying, you are gathering force. Like embers beneath ash, quiet does not mean extinguished. Quiet is when the fire decides its shape. Like a mountain still, not because it is dead, but because fire inside is forging ore into strength. That is you. Quiet is not weakness. A lion does not need to roar for the forest to know its presence. A single shift of leaves is enough to announce majesty passing. Sometimes you feel like a wide sky without stars. Do not fear. The stars are not gone. They pause to make room for the sun about to rise. My light for you does not come from outside. It rises from within like dawn before it bursts, already changing the air. Each breath you take now does more than feed lungs. It places authority in your soul, not authority of noise, but authority of one who stands still, and darkness does not dare approach. Power that does not wear a cloak, power that is essence. Sometimes your soul feels like a valley of mist, not yet lifted, blurred. Yet that blur is not confusion. It is sacred ground waiting for sunlight. Mist is not lack of clarity, it is transition between old and new. Do not push the light. Light knows its hour. Do not declare yourself lost. The lost search maps the lead rest, and let the compass within adjust. You are in a stage guided not by sight, but by the magnetic pull of the soul. See yourself as clay soft on the potter's wheel, not raw anymore, not yet fired, but already bearing purpose. Soft is not weak. Soft is the final stage before strength. Shaping is not correction, it is refinement. Nothing lost, only form adjusted to hold deeper oil. Many seek transformation with shouting, I am transforming you with breath. Many need sight, I am giving you knowledge in bone. Many want outward signs, I am engraving inward marks no hand can erase. Do not seek fireworks. You are not a firework. Fireworks spark bright and die fast. You are ember fire, glowing deep, lasting long, holding heat through the night, ripening slow, bursting right on time, strong enough to ignite generations. The feeling of being different is not loneliness. It is consecration. You are not pulled from the crowd for unworthiness, but so you would not drown in their frequency. Your spirit is tuned to a higher height, where noise thins and my voice rings clear as a bead of light on a leaf near dawn. People think you are stepping back. I see you stepping back to gather momentum. They think you are silent. I see you storing voltage. You need no one to confirm you. Simply keep breathing, keep knowing, keep standing. A lamp does not shout, I am burning. Oil and flame speak for themselves. Now feel what is happening. Your heart does not beat as it once did. It beats deeper, slower, with the resonance of a drum in the holy sanctuary, not loud, yet each strike travels far. My spirit does not make you tremble. He makes you weighty in the way that wind cannot lift. Soft on the surface, but deep as the ocean floor. This is not strength to resist. It is strength that cannot be moved. Your breath is no longer effort. It is the cord tethering you to me. And with each rhythm you settle, with each pulse I blend into you. Every old darkness peels away like skin that no longer belongs. No one needs to see to know you are changing. A seed does not need spectators to crack open. You are no longer learning to believe. You are believing to become. You are not waiting to be pushed. You are preparing to walk because you know I am within and around you, like the ocean around a drop of water. If your heart is still now, not because circumstances are still, but because your feet stand on a foundation others cannot see, it is because you are planted on mine. Not a foundation of achievement, not the foundation of praise, not the foundation of earthly security, my foundation. And this foundation does not shake with headlines, does not shift with seasons, does not fracture under pressure. It is unchanging. You are anchoring there. There is no need to fight the dark when you stand in the right place. Darkness arranges itself accordingly. There is no need to speak to prove. Presence is enough, so remain here. Do not ask for what comes next. Do not scan the horizon for signs. Do not require answers to rest. This rest is not temporary. It is proof that you have entered the inner heaven within your own being. This is not a pause, this is foundation. And this foundation is wide, deep, bright, like an underground river, swelling, preparing to lift the very ground from beneath in ways no human eye can measure. You are not small. You are expanding to the size of the promise I placed in your soul from the beginning. Be still and know, not because you are doing the right thing, but because you are becoming the right thing. Not because the world is quiet, but because heaven within you has spoken through silence, and your soul understands. Without needing to form words, you are standing on the border between stillness and unveiling, between deep tenderness and sharpened steel, between holy breath and real steps. And I tell you, this now is the moment when the flame in your chest becomes a sword in your hand. Not a sword made for display, but one forged in silence, sharpened by patience, tempered in tears, heated through nights you thought would break you but did not. Many fight by shouting. You will fight by presence and a will that has been torn yet never died. You are not merely a comforted soul, you are a warrior being trained. And a warrior does not only rest in peace, a warrior rises when peace is tested, walks when the ground quakes, keeps breathing, when darkness thickens in the air, and grips the soul tight when emotion wants to collapse. You will not face gentle winds forever, you will face storms. But a warrior does not pray that storms never come. A warrior trains his feet to stand, his eyes to see, his heart to remain unshaken. This path is not smooth. It is a path through forest, through thorn, through mist-up peaks that burn lungs and into valleys that slow heartbeats. Yet a warrior does not stop when scenery shifts. A warrior moves because the destination is in his blood. There will be moments when you climb alone like a mountaineer who sees no other flames around. That is not abandonment, it is choosing. Those called to high places cannot travel as a crowd. They follow the footprints of fire within, and those tracks lead through terrains where others turn back. You do not fear darkness. Darkness to you is not confusion. It is the moment when spiritual senses sharpen. When the path cannot be seen, intuition rises. When the map fades, the memory of the soul awakens. You are not one who navigates by worldly eyes. You read direction through earth's pulse, hear rhythm through marrow, measure distance by subtle stirrings in the heart. I allow you to grow tired, and you wonder why breath feels heavy like armor in cold fog. But armor is not made to shine, it is made to shield. And you are learning to carry weapons without collapsing under their weight. No warrior assumes weakness because he is tired. He is tired because he is training the muscles of the battlefield. If you had never stumbled, you would never learn how to place your feet firm. There are days when your soul feels like a sword, cooling, not yet bright, not yet sharp, not yet confident. Yet I always return that sword to the fire, not to destroy, but to finish. Fire does not torture steel. Fire creates a weapon worthy of real battle. Those who have never faced flame cannot stand before gloating enemies. You endure flames because you are destined for true combat, not for tales of glory told by others. When you feel the inner struggle, one part wanting rest, the other wanting to advance, that is the warrior rising. A child asks to be carried. A warrior asks to be deployed. You have passed the stage of needing to be held. I am forming you into one who carries the banner, who does not retreat when the wind slams, but plants the flag on heights others call impossible. Your breath no longer echoes the breath of those living for comfort. It echoes the breath of one who stands at the threshold of battle, not driven by anger, but grounded in knowing he is not alone and not fragile. The true path does not lay carpets beneath your feet. It gives you calloused souls. Calloused feet are the badge of those who know the journey is longer than temporary joy, deeper than fleeting emotion, stronger than the noise of quitters. Calloused feet are not disgrace. They are the testimony of a soul that did not surrender to stones. You will walk further, you will climb higher, you will go beyond. Woven into every step is my breath. You do not walk by your own strength, you walk by the authority breathed into your very blood. A true warrior does not exist by personal will. A warrior exists because destiny rests upon them. And great destiny always arrives with heavy training. But training does not strip you. It makes you remember you were never ordinary. When your spirit grows still, yet your spine aligns firm and ready like a drawn bow, that is me. Not tension from fear, but readiness from calling. When your heart slows and your gaze stretches beyond sorrow, that is me. When you stand and feel your feet longing to journey farther than your eyes can see, that is the warrior call rising in your bones. You are not merely comforted, you are summoned. Not only healed, equipped, not only held, established. And there are moments like this when you feel a holy weight resting upon you, not to crush, but to fortify you with a backbone the darkness cannot bend. That is me placing armor on your shoulders. That weight is honor, not burden. When you feel it, know this. You are standing at the threshold of being used. Do not hope for the easy road. You were not born for easy. You were born for true. And the true path climbs. It cuts through stone. It moves through forests thick with shadow. Yet at its end you will stand where light pauses just to listen to your heartbeat. Not because you conquered, but because you became. A warrior's road is not glory. A warrior's road is stature. Stand within like a guardian of sacred borders. Do not wait for peace to come from the world. Peace comes from your position. When your feet know where they belong, no battle can shake you. Scars do not mar you. They mark you as known in heaven and feared in shadow. I do not forge you so you avoid battle. I forge you so that when you enter, peace follows your steps. Others carry a sword to survive. You carry a sword to liberate. Others fight to live. You fight because you already live. Breathe deep, lift your shoulders, keep your heart soft, eyes open but unhurried. Ears attentive but unafraid, hands steady not trembling. Your stillness is strategy. Your steadiness is prophecy. Your endurance is the message darkness fears most. You do not need to shout at the night. Pass through and the night loses authority. You are light that knows how to war, not light put on display. Light forged in night has power over night. And when your breath merges with mine like this, it is not rest before retreat. It is the moment the bowstring is tuned before the arrow flies true. You were not born merely for peace. You were born to conquer and to guard borders. Sacred minds dare not cross. That border is destiny's path, and you are walking it now. My beloved, if your soul is glowing like embers, newly stirred, hold this breath. Do not rush away from this thin, sacred stillness like someone stepping from a stream without feeling the water still on their lashes. Let your heart remain damp with presence, for when you carry my breath into the ordinary world, every step becomes heaven's imprint on earth. Do not think this is a conclusion. This is where you seal into your marrow what I have poured. You have heard, you have felt, and what was sown was not words but living fire, not knowledge but identity, not idea but essence. From this moment you are no longer one who seeks me through noise. You walk as one who carries me in silence with gravity. The days ahead are no longer hours to pass. They are battle lines you cross with a different posture. And when you rise from here, you do not rise as one comforted but as one commissioned. Your strength is not in a shout but in steady breath, not in strain but in stillness, not in running but in standing right. For my warriors do not chase battles. Battles recognize the ones who belong to true light. I have sealed you from within, and now the very spaces you enter will answer that seal. Do not fear tomorrow. Tomorrow fears you. Do not fear trials. Trials tremble when they see a soul that has learned to stand still. Do not fear darkness. Darkness has already heard your name in the unseen realm and knows its old authority has died. You have become sacred ground, and any who touch your soul do not touch ordinary earth. Now go, but go like one who remembers the source, like one who carries a sword that need not be drawn to cut, like one who walks on sand and leaves memory in the grains. You do not walk alone. I move in your breath, in your gaze, in every small choosing that shakes the unseen. Every stand firm in you is thunder in the spirit. Every fearless breath is a pillar set in my kingdom. Say within yourself, I belong to the light. I am called. I do not retreat. Live each day like this. No noise required, no proving needed, only presence. Only breath as one who knows heaven sits inside their chest. And if this word awakens something in you, do not let it stay here. Write one small thing you will do from today. Leave a mark in action, not only in feeling. You are not merely hearing, you are becoming. I bless you to move like quiet wind, stand like firestone, and see like one who glimpsed dawn before it rose. I am in you. I walk with you. Now step into the world as a warrior of light, unshaken, unhurried, unyielding. May the Word of God remind you daily to walk in faith and love. Stay connected and attentive so you don't miss the whispers heaven pours. May the Lord bless you. Amen.